everyone shows different facets of their personality depending on who they are with. We are not really the same in a meeting room discussing business strategy with our colleagues and manager than in a bedroom reading a fairy tale story with our 2 kids. And this is perfectly normal to adapt to our audience. But some of us take it one step further. They literally transform their personality to blend in more easily. Have you ever noticed this person that grows a sudden interest in a topic because other people genuinely like it? Like a politician that becomes a fierce environmentalist as he visits a solar panel factory. Or a car salesman that turns into a surf enthusiast as we explain to him we used to professionally compete. Without being as sleazy or obvious as these 2 examples, we might be or encounter these individuals adept in social shape-shifting. So, what is it? Basically, social shapeshifters prioritize making a good impression rather than being authentic. They prefer hiding their true self and belief rather than risking alienating people. They will take a big bite of Aunt Irma blend cake, smile, and convince everyone in the room they never ate anything better to prevent hurting the feelings of their beloved relative. Social shapeshifters are like chameleons, changing themselves to fit in any environment. As a social psychologist, Dr. Mark Snyder explained, these individuals always try to be the right person in the right place at the right time. In his studies, he also defines the personality concept of self-monitoring, which refers to the ability to regulate our presentation and personality to accommodate a social situation. Social chameleons are masters of controlling and adapting their behaviors. We say they have a high level of self-monitoring. And to become experts in shapeshifting, social chameleons develop tremendous skills. They have an incredible awareness enabling them to pick up social cues and expectations. Like the animal which detects the color of its environment to change it and blend in. Social shapeshifters can rapidly understand the context and social interaction of a group and adjust not only to be accepted but thrived in it. In the TV series named The Mentalist, Patrick Jane, a consultant for the California Bureau of Investigation, has incredible observation skills enabling him to solve murders with unconventional methods. His understanding of psychology and attention to detail enable him to have great insights into people to such an extent some believe he can read their minds. And this is obviously an example pushed to the extreme, yet social shapeshifters are excellent at picking up mannerism, accents, and even inflection to mimic others' behaviors, perfect their camouflage, and become one of them. When we mirror behaviors or postures, we make others unconsciously more comfortable as they can recognize themselves or a member of the social group they belong to. And down the line, it makes us more likable. Psychologists even found out that repeating specific words would improve our likability and make others feel safe around us. So when we combine these copying techniques, we become extremely efficient at gaining approval, consent, or even loyalty from others. And this is obviously the reason why we see so many politicians, diplomats, and lawyers use and sometimes even abuse these techniques. But being a social chameleon and constantly shapeshifting also comes with some serious downsides. With a never-changing nature, it's easy to appear phony or unreliable. So, to preserve appearance, high self-monitoring individuals must always be on high alert to know which role they need to play, when they must play it, and how to execute it correctly. This can create a profound and deep mental exhaustion. This applies especially to people that use less of these copying techniques for professional gain than for being accepted by a group. In this case, we have an acute self-monitoring, like some sort of hypervigilance, to not only properly mimic other people's behavior, but also to understand how they perceive us. We don't want to show our real selves out of fear of being rejected or judged inadequate. And this can create anxiety before a social event, as we ask ourselves, what should I talk about? If I say this, will I be boring? And what if the discussion goes on this topic? I know nothing about it. I will look like an idiot. This can also generate a lot of rumination afterward. We can relive the moment in our head as we were looping a movie. We analyze every word we said and try to remember others' reaction. Did they really appreciate me? Oh, I should not have said that. The way they look at me? Oh, I'm sure of it. I am so stupid. I should have stayed silent and smiled. Why could I not think of something smarter to say? Overthinking these situations is toxic. The first step to overcome this negative self-talk is to become aware of it and then identify the situation leading to it. After that, we need to rewire our thoughts. This is not an easy process that can happen in a blink, but a journey of small steps. One technique that is really efficient to slowly shift our internal dialogue is to imagine that we are not talking to ourselves, but to a good friend. For instance, we blame ourselves because we believe we said something stupid in front of everyone. What would our good friend tell us? She would be kind to us, telling us that surely this is not as a big deal as we think it is. People will quickly forget about it, and that they know we are quite smart. When in doubt, let's be kind to ourselves. If you think this video could be useful to someone you know, please share it. And if you want more, follow me on my social. See you soon!